My energy is a big one, but not a loud one, but it's still very powerful. And maybe it's because I'm attracted to more narcissistic men because they can handle my energy.
Monica Richards is the creator of EcoBabe.
Joining us right now, Monica Richards.
Hello.
She's a sustainability living expert.
TV personality and all-around awesome eco-friendly personality. Monica Richards, welcome.
I've just always been really connected with our planet growing up on a farm. When I was in LA, I then started pitching a show. And every single time they would say, you have zero credentials. I'm not doing something that really makes me happy. And that's when I got back to my roots. It's a risk in many ways, but risks are oftentimes worth it. Even if you fail, it's not a failure unless you don't learn something. If you had an outside perspective of my life, you'd be like, this girl has not played small. Well, what else could I have done if I wasn't playing small? If you are not engaging with what's happened, you are creating more havoc for yourself. So your life will always have a hole on it from whatever bound you're in.
But what if someone's listening and they're like, but I'm scared to go inward and to connect and heal my inner child? How do you start?
The big silence. It's time to sing.
Welcome to the Big Silence Studio. Monica Richards, how are you?
Thank you. I'm so good. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Of course. We already had a wonderful conversation.
We did.
So many pastimes that we didn't even know we had in common.
Exactly.
All right. So you are the EcoBabe. Give me, in an elevator pitch world, who are you today? And then we're going to go back.
Oh, this is fun. Okay. So I am a supporter of life and very connected with Earth as the EcoBabe.
I love that. That's a quick elevator
That was an
pitch.
elevator pitch. Yeah. I'm also a TV host and a sustainable living expert. if you
And we're going to talk about that. But you are originally from Michigan. So
Yes.
we've already connected on the Midwest vibes, me from Indiana. And then you live in New York now.
Mm-hmm.
So what made you kind of gear towards sustainability and what you're doing now?
Yeah. I was raised on a farm in Michigan. So,
what part?
Michiganders always do the mitten state.
Yes.
So I was way down here, a very, very small town. Didn't even have one stoplight until I was born.
Oh, wow.
So it was, very, very small. My dad wasn't a farmer, but he ran his business, his construction and roofing business out of the farm. And we had every type of fruit tree you can imagine. The garden was so big. My dad had a rototiller with a huge Ford tractor. And my chores growing up were collecting chicken eggs and taking care of our animals
that's
and
amazing.
Weeding the garden,
Yeah.
which I didn't love back then. But now I look back and I'm like, that's such a blessing. Yeah, I've just always been super connected. And then, college, you kind of fall out of it a bit because you're in college and going crazy.
Yeah. What do you go to college for?
Interior design.
Oh,
Yeah.
right. Yes. You're an interior designer
Yes,
too.
this is why I love your space.
Oh my gosh. We
So-
might have to
so
show you
gorgeous.
the inside of the house for all of
would
the
love.
Pomeranians. And it's kind of a mess because we've been South by Southwesting and photo shooting. It's a disaster, but
It's good chaos.
it's good chaos.
It's the chaos we love.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's talk about sustainability.
Okay.
Explain that first for those who maybe don't know what that is and why.
The proper definition is that something can regenerate just as fast as resources are being depleted.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it's totally regenerable. In my definition, it simply means meaningful living.
Yeah.
Sustainability is really just having intention and meaning with all of your actions, thoughts, and beliefs.
So how does someone start? I feel like there's this all or nothing mentality sometimes of
Absolutely.
you're fully sustainable and then you're not. And I just said, oh my gosh, I'm drinking out of a plastic straw. And it's I'm doing my best. Number one, why?
Yeah.
Why do we want to be sustainable to leave the planet better for generations to come? And how do we start that now?
Here's a thought that is not probably renowned, I guess. Probably a lot of people don't have the same perspective I do. So my perspective on why it's important to be sustainable is climate change is for humans. Mm-hmm. We're in the middle, according to scientists, of the sixth mass extinction, which sounds very scary.
Doom and gloom.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But what that tells us is that Earth has got this. She's reinvented herself 5 times so far, right? She'll do it again. I have full faith in Earth regenerating again after whatever happens. Now, that does mean that flora and fauna, like plants and animals, will also go. And that is the part that I have a little bit of trouble with as someone who we both love animals. But flora and fauna are so connected with Earth. They're part of her. There's no emotions involved. It's very black and white. So that is connected. Flora and fauna are super connected with Earth. Humans are kind of out here. Like, this is Earth. Here's another sphere for humans. We have a little bit in the middle that are connected. So does that make sense? Like, climate change is really for human survival.
Can you talk about flora and fauna? Just explain that, because a lot of people listening are probably like, what is that?
Oh, plants and animals.
Okay.
Flora and fauna, yes.
I'm like, I don't use that terminology. It's like,
just plants and animals, yes.
Flowers and, okay.
Yes.
So when we talk about sustainability, again, then now, what are the simplest steps that we can take?
It can be very overwhelming.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, what I see in this space is a lot of polarization, like you mentioned. Mm-hmm. So it's either you're doing all of it or it's not good enough. And there's this cancel culture around not being perfect enough. Mm-hmm. That is so detrimental to the sustainable movement because it prohibits so many beings from trying to start. Mm-hmm. And with that, sustainability, which is kind of a blessing and a curse at the same time, it touches every single thing that we do. Mm-hmm. So it's massive. So really the blessing is you can start anywhere. So I always suggest starting with like a certain room or a certain drawer, or maybe just sorting a plan for your food scraps. Composting is very impactful when it comes to the earth and soil and food waste. So just taking that one step, and then it'll be like a snowball effect for you. You'll just want to keep doing more and more and more. But all you have to do is start. Whether, like skip the plastic straw or, but that one you need a straw. Yes.
Well, I could get glass.
I was just trying to think. Yeah. I should have brought you an EcoBabe glass straw. I'll send you one. How about that? Okay. And then you'll have that for that. Just start. And maybe it's something that you're passionate about. Like if we love animals, maybe just sign a petition for keeping dolphins out of aquariums and captivity. Or maybe it's something in California for dog rescue and you're signing a petition. They really do work, these petitions. I've seen them over and over work. So maybe it's just something simple that you can do that doesn't take a whole lot of like brain power and research, and then you just start.
But why did you start? So you grew up on a farm, obviously. So you're used, like that was how you were raised. I mean, I'm a mental health advocate. You're a sustainability advocate. But why? Like, what led you to this exact moment?
Those go really hand in hand, by the way.
Yeah,
sustainability and mental health. I've just always been really connected with our planet growing up on a farm. Like I saw Circle of Life and the importance of healthy soil and not using pesticides and even like bugs and everything else. I've just always been really connected. I actually went to college for biological anthropology and then decided to switch to interior design. So after interior design, all I wanted to do was be like the next Jane Goodall and study apes. But a lot of that research had already been done through Dr. Goodall. So I did interior design and I moved to London, worked in an interior design firm there for a while. And then I moved to LA and worked for an eco boutique interior design firm. So I've always been kind of rooted a bit in sustainability. When I was in LA, I then, as we all do, started pitching a show around Hollywood. And it was a sustainable meets interior design show. And every time I would be in the room, they would be like, well, who do you envision hosting the show? And I'm like, me. Yeah. And every single time they would say, you have 0 credentials. And they were right. So I started hosting classes, which are much like acting classes. And then I did fashion and beauty, a news show for many years. And then I just started feeling like I'm not doing something that like really makes me happy, that makes my heart sing. And that's when I got back to my roots and established EcoBabe and started really talking about sustainability again.
So you've built a career off of your passions. From your perspective, how do you do that? Like the confidence to do that?
Yeah, it's a risk in many ways, but risks are oftentimes worth it. Even if you fail, it's not a failure if you don't, unless you don't learn something. So it's a hustle. It's a lot of work, as you know. It's not, The weekends come, you're still working. The nights come, you're still working. You can't turn it off really. But to know that you're impacting others that means everything, right? And whether you're impacting the planet, whether you're impacting another being, an animal, all of it, it means everything. Yeah. So I think that's what outweighs the risk. Yeah. Probably for both of us.
I was just on a panel here at South by with, is it Billy Bosch? And he was talking about entrepreneurship and the sleepless nights. I was like, but would you change it? Would you say no to it again? And he's like, nope. Yeah. The freedom. That's my 2025 word.
Freedom
and funds.
Funds. Yes. I love that. Yes. I'm very similar. Yeah. I do like to pick themes for each year. Yeah.
And it's such a good way where you impact the world and you do good things. You make the world a better place. And, we're not all a nonprofit all around. I mean, I have a nonprofit, but, it's like the freedom of entrepreneurship. So someone listening right now, again, I'm going to really go in there. Like, what was the scariest moment when you decided to do what you're doing through EcoBabe and interior design? When did you fall to your knees and be like, what the fuck am I doing?
Yeah. Well, it always has revolved around finances for me because I've never, full disclosure, quite made enough. And a lot of the time, my dad is very, by the book, you have to do A and B to get to C. And so he's never understood really what I do. So that's always been hard because, of course, we want to make our parents proud. But mine is kind of consistent struggles.
Still struggling?
Yeah, still struggling. Still thriving. But it's always it's always, there's a lot of work, inner work you have to do to be an entrepreneur these days. Yeah. A lot of inner work.
I think as an entrepreneur, the biggest one is, am I worthy?
Yes.
Do I deserve this? Am I capable? I feel inferior. All those things. But then I believe, obviously for me, I've been in this world for 16 plus years where now I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm capable. Fuck yeah. I'm worthy. And I think that's the biggest thing when you're starting out is why me? A lot of people have opinions, but then I'm like, well, I always say, just be a good damn person.
Yes.
And help the world be a better place with what you're doing in the sustainability world. And also we'll dive into the interior design world. That just makes people feel good too. Are you doing things that make other people feel good and you feel good because you actually are giving back and improving versus being an asshole doing shitty things?
Yeah, absolutely. I think part of the reason that I honestly don't have a specific moment is I do so much inner healing that sometimes they just feel it's like a ghost story in your past and it doesn't really almost exist.
Let's talk inner healing. Where are your wounds?
Oh gosh. Okay. So speaking of money, I was always, I don't want to say taught because I wasn't intentionally taught to me, but to play small, to make people feel comfortable in my presence. And so with money, it was always oh, I'll take that. I'll take the crumb. I'll take I'm so grateful for this little piece. And I just was not open to receiving enough.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I talked to my husband like that. He grew up on Long Island, but it was kind of in that scarcity mode where you're uncomfortable to then accept money and abundance. Is that where you're kind of,
Yeah. I mean, it really plays into everything. If you had an outside perspective of my life, you'd be like, this girl has not played small. She's done so much in her life. I don't know how she's saying that. But truly, it's well, what else could I have done if I wasn't playing small? I already did all of this, but it's only going to get better because I've done so much work around that. But it is a scarcity, almost victim mentality. And that's the reality that you're creating for yourself.
So do you go to therapy for that?
I practice alchemy.
Okay. Explain that.
I used to do therapy, and then I had an incredible therapist in LA. She was such a blessing. And then I just kind of got what I needed, and then I started Alchemy. And do you know about Alchemy?
I don't.
Okay.
Please fill me in.
Yeah. So I have a shaman.
Okay.
And she's really a high alchemist. And alchemy is really forming new realities by adjusting your perspective. And we do that by overlaying this, I guess I would say like a blanket or a filter of hope, love, gratitude, trust, and praise. And so when you go through something, and this is where the inner work comes in, so it can be something minor that happened during your day that you didn't like, or it can be something that's major that causes major trauma. And of course, that one would be a lot more work. So for example purposes, we'll go with the more minor. So you don't like something that happened during your day. You think about it, and you lay this blanket of it, and then you look at it through eyes of those ascension attitudes, which are praise, trust, love, hope, gratitude. For instance, I met such an asshole yesterday at South by Southwest.
Tell us
like
more.
he triggered, and it's like a total blessing for me because it triggered me to the point where I'm like, okay, I have more work to do around what he said. And so I am grateful for that. Although it bothered me, like my skin literally broke out. Like whenever I get these energies, I have like a very sensitive skin.
Me too.
It's like a chemical peel.
Yeah. I get psoriasis. I get eczema. Like, yeah.
Same.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So I had to take Advil this morning for my skin to go down.
Yeah.
That's how much this person triggered me. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm actually really grateful that he took up my time so narcissistically. And I'm grateful for that because it means that I have to work on that trigger.
So how would you work on that trigger then?
I'm going to go inward. And when I say inward, I get really quiet, shut my eyes. I can do it anywhere. And I connect with little Monica, my inner child. And I ask her, like, why is this triggering you so much? And then I'll kind of like talk to myself and be like, there it is. Okay. And once you kind of define it, it naturally kind of dissipates.
So why did this man, why was he coming to you and at you?
I was waiting for an elevator and there was probably 20 people around me. And I'm usually very aware, I saw him, but I'm usually very aware of every single thing that's going on. Like I constantly like watch my six and, you know, like I'm always like, I just always know. And I was on my phone because I'm in the middle of all these projects and he gets in the elevator after me. When we get in the elevator, he goes, "You're really absorbed."
Wait, what? He said,
You're very absorbed.
He just said that to you.
Looked at me. We're face to face. You're very absorbed. And I almost like made a joke of it to be like, what with myself or whatever. And I let him talk. I was like, why? He's like, well, you're absorbed with your phone. And I was like, yeah, I have multiple projects I'm doing right now. This is work for me. And then he
was triggered.
Yeah. And he goes, well, I said your name when you walked by and you didn't. And I had a name, the badge, so you can see the name. So I didn't hear him. And I think it triggered me because I normally know my surroundings so well. And also that is so aggravating to me to have someone say, you're absorbed.
Like, you don't know me.
Right. And then he was trying to take his intuitiveness and use it to show off. He's like, oh, will you come here? Did you hear that voice? I'm super sensitive and the voice is coming at me and all of this stuff. And he's like, you know, something about, oh, do you know like Hindi? And I was like, no. He's like, well, if you're practicing alchemy, you should. And I'm like, I don't, that is not in my practice, although it would be beautiful, but like, I don't, you know, so then he was just trying to tell me what I wasn't doing and what I'm not and all of these things. And then pretending that he was like this super connected yogi and the whole experience was so bad. And then he goes, oh, well, I would love to fly you so we can talk more about this. And I was like,
fly you?
Yeah.
Like,
that's someone.
What, in his PJ?
I'm just like, I don't know where you're going. First, you insult me.
Is this somebody that we know? Like, would we know the name?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I have no idea. I've never met him before. I have no idea.
So he insulted you.
Yes.
We're just going everywhere with this conversation.
Yes.
I'm just interested. Like,
yeah.
with my friends that are even single and dating. Like, so he insulted you, but then wanted to fly you in his PJ somewhere.
Yeah. And then he took my hand and he goes, he literally said this. He goes, "Oh my God, you're like 50." And I was like, "What?"
Stop.
Yeah. I said, "What?" I said, "No, I'm actually ageless. I don't even believe in birthdays." And he goes, "No, your hands tell it all." And I was like,
So he insulted you, then wanted you to fly with him, and then insulted you.
again.
So how did this story end?
Oh, so I had an event that I had to get to, and I gave him all the hints. I kept saying, like, "I really got to go. I have this event. I have another event afterwards. I only have a limited amount of time." And he just kept holding me there. And I finally was like, I said his name, and I was like, "I have to go. Thank you. I have to go." And then I left. And then as I was leaving the building, he was outside and he grabbed my arm, and I was like, "I'm going to the next event." And then I just trotted away.
Ew.
So yeah, so it was just a lot of triggers, like all of the insults in one
That was
5 to 10 minute conversation. But that's for me to heal because it triggered me. So that means I have unhealed.
Do you
things that I need to-
attract narcissists?
Yes.
Why? Not that you have to have that answer, but
Yeah.
I do.
So my energy is a big one, but not a loud one, but it's still very powerful. And I think that and maybe it's because I'm attracted to more narcissistic men because they can kind of handle my energy. And I don't like to unintentionally steamroll. So I think that just I might be more attracted to narcissists.
I don't know. I've been through a lot of therapy with this, and I learned that my late mother was a narcissist, and I didn't know that until I was 40. And I'm like, oh, okay, this makes sense. And then I attracted friendships like that.
Yep.
And then men like that. Thank goodness. I mean, Bobby, my husband now, he's not. Thank God.
But you've done the healing.
Yeah. And Bobby can handle me as a woman who's like a very, like, I am who I am. And I don't know what it is, but now I think I have a better read at the red flags. Because I actually think I have a better read at red flags because the podcast for the past 3 years, I interview so many doctors and psychologists where I'm like, so tell me. And I'm like, okay. So I get free therapy.
That's a blessing.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Are you single?
I am.
Okay.
I am. Yeah. And that's the other thing too. I think narcissists generally have like this je ne sais quoi about them where like that's like that characteristic, like I think that's attractive, like the power that they give off. So I think that's part of the attraction. So I was going to say, whether that's in a friendship or a relationship or,
but that
any of the above.
Quote unquote power that they give off is oftentimes fake. It's not real. Obviously, they're a narcissist. Like,
yeah.
duh. Who's your dream man that you're manifesting?
A king.
Okay.
A total king. I have been through a lot in the relationship sector, we'll say.
Well, we will say here that we learned back in the day when we both might have dated the same person a long time ago.
We did. Yeah, we have many things in common. My ideal partner is someone who is in complete reverence of what we're building and of me, because I'm very reverent as the ones that I love. And so I would love that reverence back. Funny, I love to laugh. I think crying, laughing is one of the
best
healthiest.
The best.
Because life is tough. And you have to
say short and tough.
Yeah. You have to just laugh.
Yeah.
Adventure. I love traveling. I love adventure. And adventure can be a simple day at home. It doesn't have to be flying somewhere to take like, a safari or something. So yeah, just joy, a lot of love, a king, like that king energy, like the non-narcissistic but powerful king energy who is just super reverent.
That's hard to come by.
Yeah, we'll
but
see.
It exists. Are you on apps?
I'm not. No. I've never done an app.
Yeah.
No. In fact, when I was divorced, everyone was like,
oh, so you were married before?
Oh, okay. Yes. I'm divorced. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So everyone in LA was like, I mean, not everyone, my friends in LA was like, you have to get on Raya. And this is back when Raya was kind of just coming up.
Yeah.
And I was like, I know everyone on Raya. I'm not doing that. I'm more of an energy person.
Yeah.
And so it's like for an app, for me, it's so flat
Yeah.
that I mean, respectfully to anyone who uses apps, but for me, it's just, it lays flat. It's not. I'm in the stage and journey of my life where I want, like my next partner, I want kids with, you know? And so I just, it'll come, but it's going to have to come naturally.
So let's talk interior design.
Yes.
How'd you get into that?
I come by it naturally, and I don't really do it anymore except for family members and friends.
Yeah.
I come by it naturally though. My dad has an architect brain. Like he designed our house on an airplane tray in the middle of a flight. And then both of my grandpas were general contractors. So I've always been around this creativity. I've always seen drafting and, architectural layouts and all of those. And so when I was studying biological anthropology, I took an architecture class at University of Michigan. And that architecture school, I was like, I feel like maybe there's more like inside a building. And so then I transferred for interior design. I loved it. The program was really hard. You had to pass each grade, basically. Like, so for 4 years, you would have to pass the first year, the second year. People were cut, which I kind of appreciated, because if they weren't grading up to the standard, then maybe it's not for them. And they could get out of it sooner than later and spending all this money and time on something that wasn't maybe going to work out. However, I also do believe that things happen magically. So I don't know. Yeah. I come by it naturally. I studied, graduated, and then moved to London, did it for a few months. It was for my last internship. And then I moved to LA and practiced.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's really interesting. There's so many sustainable materials aside. In addition to that, there's so many chemicals that we ingest inside a room.
I know. Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
I feel like you'll go in my house and you'll smell the candles burning and be like, toxic.
Do you not have natural candles?
I have natural, but then I have unnatural because Bobby loves shopping at Costco and he buys like terrible Costco candles. But then is it true that beeswax candles actually purify the air?
I don't know about that.
I just read that like last week because bees have like so many purposes in this world.
I have beeswax. See how, because the candle isn't taking anything back, right? It's just emitting.
Yeah.
And then it's not receiving.
Yeah.
So for instance, a plant purifies the air.
That's a fake plant.
Because
this is a fake plant in the corner. Purify.
Other plants respectfully purify the air. So they're, they're like bringing it back into their bodies, basically purifying it and then sending it out. So I don't know how a candle would do that.
What if you walk into someone's house? What are 3 things that you will notice right away that are simple changes?
LED lights. Mm-hmm. That's a big one, and it's super easy. They also last a lot longer. They're less of a fire hazard because they're less hot. Mm-hmm. I would do that. A simple change that I think is the most impactful, I've previously mentioned it, is composting. But when I say composting, you don't have to have a tumbler in the backyard or building your compost pile. You simply have to, or can, sort a plan for your food scraps. You can take your food scraps to a farmer's market. Most farmer's markets accept them. We have bins all over New York with an app that you just drop off your food scraps. It's super easy. It's
What's the app?
It's Compost NYC.
Okay.
It's awesome. You can make veggie broth with your leftover scraps.
Okay.
You can do simple things. So veggie broth, you would just keep your scraps in the freezer or fridge. They don't smell. There's no bugs being attracted. And then you chop up all the veggies. You can add like herbs to it or soy sauce, boil it down, and it becomes this condensed kind of substance. Keep it in the fridge, and then you just take out tablespoons whenever you need it, mix it with more water, and then your old veggies have made this beautiful new veggie broth for you to cook with. So it's a full circle moment.
Okay.
There's a website called Make Soil, and that connects you with local farmers. It's actually a global resource. So no matter where you are, you can use it. Plug in your zip code. Connects you with local farmers who would love your scraps. Okay. Chickens, pigs, they love to eat food scraps. So that's a really kind of fun way to participate in your community as well. You can make it's called a compost smoothie.
Okay.
And so you take a big mason, like the big mason jars, fill it up halfway with water, and then you're putting your scraps in it throughout the day. And then you leave it uncapped and then let it sit for 5 days.
When you say scraps.
Yes.
Like leftover. What?
All of it.
Like if I don't finish my eggs for breakfast, put it in there.
Put it in there. Yes. A lot of composts you can put meat in, but that just a lot of it, I say a lot of the time is personal preference because if you don't eat meat then, or if you're grossed out by whatever, you're not going to like want that in your compost pile.
Do you eat meat?
I eat seafood.
Okay.
I try to be super sustainable with that as possible. There's also a website for sustainable seafood. It's made by the Monterey Bay Aquarium up in NorCal, and it's called Seafood Watch.
Okay.
And so you go there, you plug in, say you would like to eat salmon or shop for salmon at Costco or something. So you plug in salmon, and it very in real time, it conjugates a list of the species of salmon that is the most sustainable, and it does include farmed.
Okay.
So then you look for that specific species. Yeah, so I do seafood and I do chicken every once in a while.
Yeah. But
beef, I just know too much. I can't get behind. And turkey I have not eaten. Oh my gosh, do you know the Gentle Barn?
No.
And it's in LA,
okay.
Northern LA, and then there's one in Tennessee. So it's this barn rescue. It's a rescue for farm animals. Oh. And when I went there I was with a friend. I'm hungry. Not for these animals. My stomach just growled. So I got to the Gentle Barn, and I grew up with turkeys. I've known turkeys for ages, and there was this turkey there, and there's all these people there. It was a very warm day, so it was like busy at the Gentle Barn. And by the way, there was a 3,000-pound cow.
Oh my God.
He looked like an elephant. It was all GMO. Okay. 3,000 pounds. This is what these cows go through.
Raising them to
butcher, to make more meat.
Yeah.
But he could barely walk. He had to lay. He couldn't even really function. He was too heavy. Like his joints, these cows, their joints aren't made for that much weight. So there's a turkey, and I look at her, and we make eye contact, and she starts running through all these people towards me. And I was like, oh my God, is this turkey going to attack me? I didn't know what to do. And so I'm just standing there, and she runs up and sits by my shins. And she had a handler, and the handler runs up, and she's like, her name is Alice. She wants a hug. I was like, say what? So she wants a hug. So I get down, I give Alice a hug, and then we just bonded for minutes, like 10 minutes. All she wanted to do, there's all these people around. It's like gaze in my eyes and get snuggles. And ever since then, I have not eaten turkey. I can't.
Okay. I have to ask you skincare.
Okay.
Because you're like
love skincare. Thank you. Even with this chemical peel energy rash.
Yes. So what do you do?
I love facial massage. I think you have a lot of power in your hands. Like I also use a gua sha tool, but we just have so much energy and power in our hands.
Yeah.
I go between exfoliation and hydration. Like I'll exfoliate every few days, and the rest is super hydrating. I have very dry skin. Yeah, so exfoliation, hydration, that's about it. For skincare, I keep it pretty clean. I love Caudalie.
Okay.
They also have refillable packaging, which it saves so much on plastic waste. Yeah. I love Hear Me Raw. It's a New York-based brand for masks, face masks. And Beauty Counter's really good. I love them. And then for makeup, I do a lot of Jane Iredale. She's like the clean OG of makeup. Yeah, really good. And she also has refillable compacts. She's just refillable eyeshadow, all of it. Also Beauty Counter. That's about it. I just kind of stick to those brands. Yeah. Like once you find the ones that you really love, it's just easy to stick to. Shampoo and conditioner bars.
Okay.
Okay. So the brand is called Atique.
Atique.
It looks
How do you
like
spell it?
Atique, like ETHIQUE.
Okay.
Atique. And they're the best shampoo and conditioner bars. They have a line, like a little set for every hair type. Yeah. And they work. And they save, like you don't have any of that plastic packaging. It's bars. And they're actually really big. The other shampoo bars I've tried are small, so they don't last that long. These last forever. And they really are effective. They're really, really great. They're great for travel. You just take it and go. You don't have to like,
And it's
be
not a
pouring
liquid.
something. Yeah. Liquid shampoos are 80% water. It's like
I'm
detergent.
learning so much today.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I could keep going and going. But yeah, the shampoo, I love shampoo bars. It's a big, something else you can do that just eliminates plastic and waste.
Yeah.
And they're vegan and all the good things.
Where does everyone find you? We're going to put a ton of information in the show notes too. And anything else you want to share that people need to know?
Here's something that people need to know in current day.
Okay.
A little bit of ignorance when it comes to consumption of what's happening in the world, I think is a good thing. Be really careful about all of the info that you consume
There's so much.
because it's really can affect your mental health.
Yeah.
Yeah. And staying away from that, muting certain things on Instagram, just kind of giving yourself a break, I think is really, really important to stay in your joy.
I love that. And I agree with that.
Yeah.
I know even when we talk about consumption, like I like to wake up and get outside, and around here there's like the birds and the sun. My husband likes to, I'm like, are we doing death and destruction on the TV this morning as soon as we wake up?
The news?
Yeah.
Is that what? Yeah.
I'm like, can we not?
Absolutely. Yeah. It really can affect your energy and the rest of your day. Speaking about inner space, you create everything from inside, right? Like your thoughts create your feelings, feelings create your beliefs, beliefs create your actions, and your actions create your results. But what that tells us is that everything is an inside job.
Yep.
So in order to create the reality that you want to live, you have to go inward and heal all the things that are troubling you and dissolve those and connect with your inner child. It's the most
But what
important.
if I've done all of that work, but what if someone's listening and they're like, but I'm scared
To go inward,
to go inward and to connect to and heal my inner child?
it can be scary.
What's like, and from your opinion and your expertise, like, how do you start?
I think the best thing to share is that the importance of it, because if you are not engaging with what's happened, you're either contracting away from it, right? But when we contract, we're creating a gap in life. And that's when death, decay, aging, hacks can seep in through this gap, right? So you are creating more havoc for yourself by contracting away from something, right? And the other part is if you are not contracting away from it, but you let it get a hold of you and stay like that trauma has its claws or its tentacles on you at all times, you're going to only bring that into your reality, into your present. So your life will always have a hold on it from whatever bound you're in. So I think that is much more probably like enticing. Like who wouldn't want to let any of that go, right? So that's the importance of going inward. And a lot of times that outweighs like the positivity that can come from going inward, that can outweigh any scared feelings or fear that you would have by maybe starting.
Yeah.
So just knowing that it's going to get good.
I would say I love feeling scared because it knows that I'm making a change for the better, and like being brave. And like to me, being scared and doing something that scares you is confidence and to move forward.
Yeah. I mean, that's when the magic happens is with change and uncertainty, right? You have to just take the jump.
I know. Otherwise, you're like going through life just with blinders on and not really experiencing.
Yes.
You want to have those feels. You want to experience being afraid and then being like, oh my gosh, I did that. And
yeah. And to be proud of yourself later. It's the best feeling.
Yeah.
One thing that I do like to recommend when you're connecting with your inner child is to think about your favorite photo of yourself when you're little and then connect with that little being. Like that's little Karena.
One photo popped in my head.
Love it.
It's me in Peru, Indiana.
Okay. I didn't know there was a Peru, Indiana.
There is a
Oh my
Peru,
gosh,
Indiana.
Okay.
And I'm holding a flower in my backyard. Oh. And I have I'm this like little short bob.
Yeah.
And I'm in this little flower dress. I don't know why that was just like popped up.
But see,
but I'm
that's little
outside in
Karena.
nature holding a flower.
Holding a flower, you're connecting with Earth.
Yeah.
And so that's who you can connect to when you go inward and you think about your inner child and you want to start healing. And you just start asking her,
Yeah.
little Karena, what are you inspired by?
Sure.
It's a great tip because I think that a lot of beings have a favorite childhood photo.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine was a little farm girl.
Yeah. I feel like I was a little farm girl. I used to we had train tracks around and we would, my sister and I would go play in the abandoned train carts or whatever they are.
You're like the boxcar children. Yes. I loved those books.
Peru, Indiana. Google it. There's a circus there, and it's the circus capital of the world. My husband makes fun of me all the time. He's like, "No, I'm like, Google Peru, Indiana."
Yeah,
like we had
circus capital of the
train
world.
tracks and a circus.
Yeah,
and that is where I'm from.
Wow.
Proud.
Yes. I mean, I love Midwesterners. I haven't heard a mom come out of you yet, but the accent.
No, I don't. Wait, what is it? Mom? What? Mom. Is that like?
Or like McDonald's.
McDonald? No, I mean, I moved to LA when I was 18, so it was in LA.
Yeah.
I lived in LA longer than Indiana.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
We still say pop instead of soda.
Oh, yeah. I say pop.
Yeah.
All the time. No one knows what we're talking about.
They're like, what?
Yes.
Like a pop.
A pop. But everything is a pop, by the way.
Thank you for coming by the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
All right. And once again, how do we find you in the show notes? Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm at the EcoBabe.
Yeah.
On all social media. And then my website is ecobabe.co.
Okay. Thank you.
Easy. Thank you.
The big silence. It's time to sing.